Hey friends, Sergeant Dan McKnight here, chairman and founder of BringOurTroopsHome.us and the director of the 107club.com. You know, we often talk about endless wars, but it's not very often that we talk about cataclysmic war. And the war party is working itself into a frenzy, trying to lay groundwork for a war with Russia over the borders of Ukraine. And just this week, 165 Florida National Guardsmen from the 53rd Infantry Brigade Combat Team took over duties in Ukraine that include training the Ukrainian military. Is this a policy that puts America first, or is it a policy that endangers American service members? It's well within the federal government's authority to deploy the National Guard overseas for training missions, and the Biden administration has assured us that these guardsmen will not be participating in combat alongside the Ukrainians. But we have placed Americans on a geopolitical tripwire. Russia and Ukraine, they've been fighting back and forth, a low-level war for 7 years. And there are reports that Russia is building up their military and preparing to increase its presence in 2022. If our guardsmen are caught in the middle of a hot war in Eastern Europe, even Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin admits that he won't be able to speculate on what could happen in that instance. That doesn't sound like a guarantee at all to me. That's why we must pass Defend the Guard legislation in state legislatures, which would prohibit state National Guard units from being deployed into active combat unless Congress has declared war. The bill would deprive Washington, D.C. of its military backbone unless it followed the Constitution, and make them more careful about sending guardsmen into the farthest corners of the earth in the first place. Luckily, Florida has its champion, Representative Melanie Bell, who was the lead sponsor on Defend the Guard in Florida in 2021 and will be again next year. She's a representative that cares deeply about the Constitution and the safety of our service members, and our organization is happy to partner with her. The fact is that how the borders of Eastern European are drawn don't amount to a hill of beans to how the people of Meridian, Idaho, or Fort Meade, Florida, or your hometown live their lives. But what does affect American families are body bags, and I wouldn't sacrifice one single of my brothers or sisters in uniform for such a peripheral stakes. But some people are drooling at the chance. And in a Tuesday interview with Fox News, Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi said, "I would not rule out American troops on the ground. Do you know we don't rule out first use nuclear option? Are you kidding me? Is American blood so cheap that we'd expend it by the gallon in a ground war on Russia's doorstep?" This is how the war party speaks, and this is what they think. And as a 13-year veteran of the United States military, I don't believe any member of Congress should speak so cavalierly about the sacrifices of our soldiers. And invoking a nuclear first strike, I think Senator Wicker's forgotten the wisdom of Ronald Reagan, who said a nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. Senator Wicker may not care if our grandchildren are vaporized in an atomic Armageddon, but I do. Maybe he thinks that a cockroach like himself will survive any nuclear blast. We must bring our troops home before the war party leads us to annihilation. We must pass Defend the Guard before it's too late to right their wrongs. Join our cause by becoming a member of our supporters group, the 107club.com. The fate of the world might literally depend on it. Thank you.